I've been training horses 30 years. It's not for everybody, but personally, I wouldn't change anything. And you still get butterflies. Our business is very competitive.
I like to win. You know, anybody, I think, loves making history.
It literally takes 4.5 years to get to this point. We're not fooling around.
It's tough to win. Everything has to go right. A lot of these good horses, they know they're good. And McKinzie, he knows right now that he is the man. So hopefully he can prove that.
What's the most prestigious race in all of the United States? Most people would probably say the Kentucky Derby, but it's not, and it's not even close. It's the Breeders' Cup Classic.
The Breeders' Cup Classic is the Super Bowl.
Just to be in it would be amazing.
McKinzie will be next.
You win the Classic, you're the best horse in the world.
The future then is really bright.
That's why we're here, to reach the pinnacle, the payday that comes with that.
$6 million.
The horse could be worth $25 million. It's a lot of hard work. This is 24 hours a day.
Early morning hours, late nights, time away from family.
The Breeders' Cup is the best
Of the best from all over the world.
The best trainers, you have the best jockeys. You have to be at the peak.
You got to have a horse that's on top of his game on that exact day. Breeders' Cup Challenge has win and you're in races, which means that the winner of that particular race is automatically in the starting field for the Classic. They don't have to worry about the points or the committees. So when a stable has a horse they feel is good enough, they start planning for that as soon as the year starts. And then they hope that everything transpires during the season exactly like they want it to. But as we all know, sometimes things don't go according to script. You've had a couple of funny remarks about the Derby, I've read.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
You got disqualified.
Maximum Security wins the Kentucky Derby!
Well, I mean, it was a situation unlike any in the history of the Derby. Clearly the best horse in the race wins, and there's a 22-minute deliberation after not one, but as it turned out, 2 foul claims.
Hey, you know they call a foul, huh?
They have to make a decision.
And then the horse is disqualified.
They disqualified him.
They did. So for the first time in the history of the Kentucky Derby, the horse that crossed the line first has been disqualified.
Well, you don't have the trophy, your name's not in the record, but everybody knows he was the best horse.
Ask me who won the Derby 3 years ago. I don't remember that.
You know, they'll remember this
They'll
one.
remember that one. Now coming into the Haskell, will we see the same maximum security or will we not? That's one of the compelling storylines. The Haskell is always one of my favorite races to cover. It's not just a great horse race, it's the biggest sporting event, the biggest social event in this particular area all summer long. But
we've got a little uncertainty here. The temperature's in the mid-90s, the heat index is off the charts. The governor of New Jersey is talking to the CEO of Monmouth, expressing his concerns about the horses running in such heat.
Look at this, 105. I can't wait for him to get in the stall, you know? This is 4.5 years getting to this point. We're not fooling around. Maximum security, we hooked the last time.
Who wants it more? King for a day, forges to a narrow advantage. Maximum Security has been defeated.
So we're confident the way we're coming in today's race. Probably been to about 45 Haskells in my life. We've never run a horse in the race. Is he coming off first?
Yeah.
I've been coming here my whole life. I grew up 3 miles from the stable gate. So to be involved in this year's with a real legit horse that could win it, it means everything. I'm happy now. Glad that is over with. This horse is here. I can't wait to get in the paddock. There's a lot of anticipation. because my brother, Greg Sacco, a lifelong trainer, we're both running our first Haskell horses.
There's Joe right there.
He's running Jovia, we're running King for a Day. It's odd, but if King for a Day doesn't cross the wire first, I am rooting for my brother like you can't imagine.
We're just schooling at the gate. You know, on race day, you don't want horses to be agitated going to the gate. You want them to walk right in. When the bell rings, you want them to pop out of there, get your position. As a trainer, you want to train a champion. You want to be competitive in a Breeders' Cup. You just hope that everything you've done and your staff has done to prepare the horse works out, because everything is a reflection on you ultimately. And you still get butterflies. And I think the day that I don't get butterflies racing a horse, it's probably the day I'll pack it in. That went good. My brother and I are the only two in our family that actually carry the torch of racing. We had 3 uncles that trained and our father. So we were running around here with my dad since, like 5 years old. Kids weren't allowed here, and people used to complain because my brother and I used to take his pony and like take off on it, and he'd be needing it for the barn in the morning, and we'd be like, halfway around the track riding double on the pony. He's beeping the horn to get back to the barn. So, my fathers and my uncles, I'm sure they're looking down on my brother and I, really proud, and it means a lot.
Give us a stretch call from the quarter pole to the wire.
Wow, this is a tough race here. Because this is a very tough situation.
Yes.
I'm sweating bullets over here. I feel like danger. Let's go.
They have a quarter of a mile to go in the Haskell. Jovia's all hot at the rail, and he has King for a Day swinging to the grandstand side. Maximum security, King for a Day, and Jovia, they're gonna hit the wire. King for a Day, won it by a nose. Don't be disrespectful. That's the red unstable, is what we said.
I like it. Listen, there's no question there's gonna be hugs and kisses in the winner's circle, whether you win it or you win it.
Of course.
This is what it's all about.
It's overwhelming to be competing against one another, but a good overwhelming.
Let's have a great Haskell. First 2 Sacco horses in Haskell. And let's do it.
Salute. Cheers.
How cool is that? We used to watch the races for so many years over there. And now the horses are gonna run right here. Are we gonna feed Jovia? Carrots and mint? Mint? Okay. I got into horse racing many years ago. My father was into it very much with his friends. They used to joke, I think what drew them many times was they would get a tip on a horse, and somehow every race I went with them never won. These tips were 5th place, 6th place. They said, Dad, you gotta lose these guys' phone numbers.
How old were you when you first came to the track? You were 8, maybe?
8, you were probably 6, yeah. Little different back then. Dad betting $2 exactas and be pissed if he lost. Yeah, how things changed. Now we got a horse racing in the Haskell. I grew up in northern New Jersey, so I've been coming to this race for so many years. I've seen all these incredible horses, so I've been dreaming to have a horse here. When I bought Jovia, he went cheap. $32,000 we paid. Say hi, Jovia.
Hi, Jovia.
Fast forward a few years.
Less than 6 furlongs remain.
Jovia raced in the Belmont.
And it's been Jovia all the way so far.
I've watched the replay 75 times. I still hope for a different result,
And Sir Winston to the lead. Jovia fights on.
We took 3rd.
It is Sir Winston.
But my heart still races. And I've seen it 75 times. A little weird, but say adios, Jovia.
Adios, Jovia.
That race really put it all together. So we're excited about what's moving forward. We're here with Jovia, race day. He's chowing down a little bit. It's like his form of pasta, doing whatever he has to do. Let's go, champ.
It is very warm, as you might have gathered here at Monmouth Park, and the Haskell has had to be postponed to 8:05 this evening.
It's a sensitive time in racing, and absolutely safety for the horses first.
This is crazy.
With fatalities at Santa Anita, now this freak weather system. How comfortable are you with public opinion countermanding established protocol?
In this particular situation, I'm okay with it.
This whole joint's in limbo. I don't even know what's happening with the races, let alone our horse. What happened here?
Jovia came up just more with inflammation in one of his feet.
What the? I mean, how is that possible?
It's got a pulse. So if there's signs of inflammation, it's very palpable. Boom, 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 boom.
Mike?
You know, we had an issue with the blacksmith about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. They put a shoe on Jovia's front foot, and he must have shaved it down a little bit, too much. Analogy would be like getting a pedicure for somebody and cutting the nail too short.
Guys, nobody wants to run more than me. But I'm not sugarcoating anything. He's not good enough to go running in the Haskell. You know, we have to be perfect. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, it's just crazy to me. Some blacksmith changing a shoe and keeping my horse out of the Haskell. I mean, over a shoe. Look at.
You got to put your trust in me.
I mean, it's just inexcusable, but I can't control.
We're out of the race. Just couldn't do it.
I'm not disagreeing.
Right. No,
we're
that's
in a
why I love you
no-win
guys.
situation, but it just can't happen.
Right.
I'm out of here. Crazy. Can you believe this? That was Jovia's only shot. It definitely hurts being a Jersey guy and first time ever having a horse in the Haskell. What's up, my brother? We just scratched.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can you believe that? I was hoping to bring you the winner's circle after all these years. I'll see you later. As much as I'm disappointed, I mean, I can't say I'm directly disappointed at Greg because how upset he is. I mean, this is a man of 30 years dedicated his life to this sport, and he's never been in this race. So for him just to stand there and say, I think we got to play for another day.
Kid, I scratched. It was just in his best interest. I couldn't take any chances. It is what it is. I mean, Jovia comes first. All right, bye-bye. Crazy, the whole thing. Really crazy.
It has been a challenging year for United States horse racing, and today's postponement, one of the latest twists. The race will be run. Jovia is a scratch. Maximum security, he will face 5 rivals.
Be really interesting to see what ends up happening with maximum security, but all my money's going to go to the one horse, Nick. King for a Day.
I'm going King for a Day. I think he's the now horse.
King for a Day, after defeating maximum security, looks to make it 2 for 2 here at Monmouth Park.
You just hope it is a fantastic race. I think they deserve it today after the troubles they've had.
It's been a bit of an odd day, but it's going to end on a great note. We're ready for New Jersey's signature thoroughbred race. We're going to Frank Miramati for the live call.
And they're off in the Haskell Invitational. Maximum security comes out running, and King for a Day protecting the rail down on the inside.
Let him go, Johnny, let him go.
Mucho Gusto settles about 3 lengths off the lead, and it is a long way back to Everfast. King for a Day comes through on the inside of Bethlehem Road. They are head and head, but Bethlehem Road is a little bit quicker. Then comes Maximum Security inching up. And now these two square off again. Maximum Security and King for a Day. Mucho Gusto joins the party with a big run on the outside. And now Mucho Gusto is right up to Maximum Security. King for a Day just checks sharply. Maximum Security cuts the corner. Mucho Gusto is going to make him work. Trying so hard to go by. Valiant, but Maximum Security has won the Haskell Invitational over a stubborn Mucho Gusto.
Got cut off.
So Maximum Security gets his spot in the Classic.
It's been a kind of a roller coaster with this horse the last couple of months, but the fact is he might be the most talented 3-year-old in the country. There's Jason Service.
The TBG.com Haskell Invitational.
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, no worries.
7, 5, 3, 6.
Maximum Security is back and with a vengeance. He took all the heat and turned away Mucho Gusto deep stretch.
Mucho Gusto. Hey, boy. Drinking water? He's having a little drink there.
Got passed by Mucho Gusto.
Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Here he is. I'll tell you what, he came back from the Haskell acting like a big dog now. He knows, you know, he says he made the Derby winner run. But they could have gone around 2 times. He wasn't going to pass that horse. This is like Millionaire's Row down through here. These are my kids, you know, and this is what I look forward to every day, watching them go out there and perform. And I remember winning my first Breeders' Cup in 1992, and I really didn't think I was ever going to win a classic. I've been through it, and I was in the 2nd level, and you had to take an elevator. I thought if I didn't get down there in time, they were going to take the winner's circle picture without me, and I didn't know. But that's how sort of excited and sort of green I was. This is Gamine. She is so sweet. Hopefully she'll be at the Breeders' Cup. You're sweet, aren't you? Then we got Big Mac, McKinzie. He's not like the friendliest guy in the world. What do you think, my man? What do you think? You like those? He likes the cameras. They like the cameras. I'm very excited about McKinzie, and I was trying to map out what I was going to do with him this year. You know, I could have stayed at Del Mar and run the Pacific Classic, which is also a great race. But, you know, I think the Whitney, it's a sexier race. There's so much history, and it's a race that, you know, I've never won. And on top of that, McKinzie was named after a dear friend of ours, Brad McKinzie. How's he look? We were at his funeral and thought we need to name a horse after Brad, but it's got to be a good one. And McKinzie was a 2-year-old just getting ready. I said, you know what? I think I have a good one. And I'm just grateful that he turned out to be a real good horse. If we were able to win the Whitney, it would be the most incredible feeling. He knows right now that he is the man, and so hopefully he can prove that.
Summer at Saratoga, what a place to be.
Saratoga, Whitney Day, $1 million on the line. Over 30,000 people will be here today. Going to be a very interesting betting race with multiple Grade 1 horses, and the winner will be one of the favorites for the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Every week, the Breeders' Cup puts out the top 10 contenders voted on by members of the media, ranked in order for the Breeders' Cup Classic. In the Whitney, it looks like there's a big 3 on paper. You've got McKinzie and Preservationist and Vino Rosso.
Baffert's never won the Whitney. He has McKinzie, obviously, but smell a bit of an upset here. In Vino Rosso,
5 is Vino Rosso, one of the favorites. The 8, that is Preservationist, 5 wins in his last 6 starts.
I would have had him in my top 5, maybe number 3. He can be brilliant.
You know, it's a tough go, tough field. Horse looks great. You know, hopefully we'll be right there, and I think we will be.
Preservationist looking good. A lot of people here are looking good because they have that Breeders' Cup apparel.
6, McKinzie, the Bob Baffert trained Mike Smith ridden star.
That is the horse to beat in the Breeders' Cup Classic, in the opinion of many people.
Who do you like in the Whitney?
Whitney, McKinzie, obviously.
McKinzie? McKenzie lays over the field, but I think Preservationist is an up-and-coming horse. He beat Catholic Boy a couple
one
months.
bad race his entire career.
Well, here we go. Breeders' Cup Part 1.
It is a Breeders' Cup win, and you're in event, the $1 million Whitney Stakes.
They're off in the Whitney. Out quickly with McKinzie on the outside, flashing early speed, who will take them to that first turn. 1-2 with Preservationist floated out wide as Imperative saves on the ground inside of Forewarned. Vino Rosso in behind them, so there's a scramble for the lead around this first turn. McKinzie and Preservationist, these two will take over as they head to the backstretch. Preservationist and Junior Alvarado want the lead, and they've got it onto the backstretch. Mike Smith yields that top spot and now switches to the outside with McKinzie. Vino Rosso is getting roused to go on the outside. Around the far turn they go. Preservationist the leader. McKinzie comes under pressure. They're coming to the top of the stretch. 3/4, 111.3. They're into the stretch in the Whitney. McKinzie, Preservationist, Vino Rosso, and Yoshida. And they're across the track. Coming to the final furlong, McKinzie's in front. Yoshida runs after him on the outside. Vino Rosso is third. McKinzie comes by the 16th pole, and he's going to do it. McKinzie has won the Whitney. Yoshida was second, Vino Rosso was third, and Preservationist was fourth in a final time of 1:47.10 seconds.
Real quick time.
Too fast.
Mike Smith let McKinzie run to kind of spread the field out, but down the backstretch, elected to get an outside run on Preservationist.
Bob Baffert has his Whitney winner, and it is McKinzie.
Bob Baffert, your first Whitney victory. How does it feel?
It feels good. You know what? I'm emotional because it's named after Brad McKinzie. I was really nervous today because I really wanted to win this for this horse, and you got me crying.
It's an emotional moment. It's a huge.
It is, but it means a lot.
All right, so Randy and Jerry, we saw McKinzie, the favorite, get the victory. We saw very emotional Bob Baffert.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Saratoga's the toughest place in America to win. Grade 1 races are the toughest races to win. Baffert has now won with 9 of his last 14 starters at Saratoga, 8 in Grade 1 stakes. Unbelievable.
Every time I ask people that I don't know that much about racing, I ask them, so what's the best thoroughbred you ever heard of? And they all say Secretariat. You know, I just like to have a horse that would leave that stamp. Someday I want that person to say one of my horses.
Next on All In, the road to the Classic.
The main event is upon us.
It looks pretty good, but you never know what can happen in a horse race.
There we go.
You don't just wake up in the morning and say, oh, this is also going to be a great one, we know. No, it's tough.
You have to take big risks to get big reward.
It's not out of the conversation to beat the boys.
Who's it gonna be?
Is that us?